What's up? Todd Falcone here. Welcome back to toddfalcone.com. So another question that came up recently, and by the way, I'm happy to answer your question. So if you got some pressing question or something that you'd like to know and you'd like for me to answer it on video, I'm happy to do that, but all you got to do is ask. So just reach out and let me know what your question is. I'm happy to answer it. So, okay, so this is another question that came up, and I actually answered it on Facebook Live recently. So when you're working with someone and you're bringing someone onto your team, the question was, how long do you work with that person? Do you work with them, like when do you cut the cord? When do you let them go? And how do you determine how to let them go if you're going to let them go? And I think that's a very valid question, because the bigger organization we get, we're working with different types of people, more people, and the demands on our time tend to increase pretty dramatically. So here's my best answer on video for you today. Number one, for me, if you're building the business, if you're in the business, you're active, you're doing, you're involved, you're showing up, I will never stop working with you. I'll work with you until whenever. There is no end date. Even when you become totally independent of me and you're running your own events and you're maybe past me in earnings and you're better than I am, I'm still going to continue to work with you. In fact, that takes me right into the thing that I actually said on my Facebook Live, and I'll say it again today, and maybe you've heard me say this before, but it's so important, and that is I initiated this thing called the 7-day rule. The 7-day rule is you never let more than 7 days pass without having some type of conversation with the key people on your team. And here's the thing, it can be very easy for lots of time to pass once somebody becomes super independent, which is what we're looking for. But then the problem is, the challenge is, weeds grow in every garden. So if you let too much time pass between contacts with you and your key people, these are the people that are driving most of your monthly earnings, people that are creating the bulk of the volume. These are the people you want to stay connected with, because if something goes wrong, and sometimes, by the way, things can go wrong, even if somebody's doing a lot of volume and they're earning an exceptional amount of money. I've seen people leave companies making 50 grand a month. I've seen people leave companies that are making 100 grand a month. You think, why would they leave? I don't know. Well, that's for another video, but people do. And the way to prevent that from happening is to stay deeply rooted and connected with the people that you do business with, these key influencers on your team. I don't think there's ever a time when I'm going to stop working with you. Now, if you're not doing, and this is the other question, so when do you cut the cord, right? So if I've recruited you and you've given the company money and you've at least flagged yourself and raised your hand like, hey, I want to do this, but then you don't do anything, I'm going to go work with somebody who's actually showing up. And if you decide to change your mind and show up one day, I'm going to open myself up to you. I'm certainly going to be happy to help you. But there's a phrase, and I learned this like in 1989, 1990, right when I first started in network marketing. And the phrase is, work where you're deserved, not where you're needed. And it's very simple. You work with the people that, based on how they're showing up, deserve your time. The people that are showing up deserve your time. The people that are talking but not doing anything and not even willing to take the basic, simple steps, they don't deserve your time just because they gave the company money. And I understand the guilt associated with it. You bring in a friend, the friend gives the company $1,000, and they don't do anything, and you're feeling guilty. Like it's like your fault that they lost $1,000. They didn't lose $1,000. They gave the company, they're adults, they gave a company $1,000, and they chose not to execute, not to actually do something. That's their fault. Now, one thing, if you sign people up and all you're doing is throwing them up against the wall like pasta and hoping they're going to actually do something, and you're not providing them guidance, direction, support, and assistance, then you are to blame. But if you're showing up and you're plugging people in and you're willing to help them, and then they're choosing not to initiate, you got to work with the people that are showing up. So bottom line, you work with the workers, you work with the doers, you work with the people that are producing. Those that are not producing, they'll either come around or they won't. They'll fall off. That's fine, because they haven't done anything anyhow. And if you turn on at some point and you've been turned off for any period of time, I'll work with you just like you were a brand new person who turned on from the very beginning. So that's my philosophy on who to work with, how long you work with those people, and we kind of got to do a little bit of juggling. And your time is very valuable, and you're going to have these moments of decision where like, oh, I got to work with this person, I got to work with this person. Work with a person that's working. Simple as that. We'll see you on another video. Be sure to download the cheat sheet on this page. If you're watching this video on YouTube, go to the link inside of the video, get over to my page. Love to hear your comments. Make sure you download the cheat sheet. It'll help you become a more proficient, more professional, successful network marketer. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.